Drive at 5, Coach K, and Sports Call with Jordan Glass and Davis Allen. Plus all of your ESPN national faves like Gullick and Wingo and Paul Feinbaum. And if you'd like to be an ESPN sponsor or one of our promotional partners, just give us a call at 262-6000. 262-6000.
All sports, all the time. ESPN Pensacola.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
Dropping Gannon, looking Gannon, throws up the middle. At the 40, Derek Brooks 30, Brooks to the 29, he's getting Derek Brooks all the way. Touchdown Tampa Bay, Derek Brooks, the dagger's in. We're going to win the Super Bowl.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket, and this time his name is Bubba.
Pitch on the way. Russell drives one in the air. Deep left center. That's back near the wall. It's got a chance. Grand slam. Grand slam, Addison Russell.
The new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
And Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? Bama scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And these them Louisiana, Pensacola guys, they looking crazy and all that.
Morris, blocked by the tight end call. That opens up the door. Breaking the coverage tackle. To the pylon. Touchdown.
Really nice effort there by Alfred Morris, extending that ball over the goal line.
Near side ball is a big game. Doug Baldwin's got a first down. Doug Baldwin, 93 yards, now has back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Reggie Evans, and he's going to get an ovation. Guy from Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome into the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola 945 and on Blab TV. I am Chad Berliante. Glad to be with you here as always, having some fun with you on this Thursday evening. Coming up on the show, we're going to talk with legendary Auburn coach Pat Dye. We're going to get to more on what's going on with the Blue Wahoos coming up here at 5:30 with Bill Valona as well. And, the Blue Wahoos come back home. Should be a good night tonight down there against the Biloxi Shuckers, having some fun with the best record in the Southern League. Joining us now, you can hear him on Talk Football with Coach K each and every afternoon from 12 to 1 as well. Right there with our good friend Davis Allen on the Sports Call. Jordan Glass. Jordan, what's happening, my friend?
Not much, man. It's just it's a Thursday. I'm ready for the weekend.
It is a Thursday, yeah.
It's going to be a little interesting this weekend. Obviously, there's no NFL draft. But we do have some NFL some NBA and NHL playoffs. So that should keep us held over a little bit.
So far, the NCAA set the bar pretty high. It was pretty awesome right there.
Right,
the games, you had classic finishes right there. Here's the thing about anything that happens. I love to hear, living in Vegas for 3 years put a lot of perspective into the game of, when somebody's like, bro, did you see that kick, man? The guy blocked the kick and ran it back for a touchdown, and I lost by 1 point, man. It was like 35-7, and he scored, and it was a meaningless touchdown. The final score was 35-14. I had over 49.5. And you're just sitting there going, you know what? Listen, you're the one person thinking of it, but guess what? There's also 50% of the other side that's thinking the same thing. You're like, did you see that guy block the kick? And brings it back. I'll never forget a guy. It was, I can see it like it was yesterday because this guy, he was a New Yorker. He was loud. And, it was probably a cab driver, looked like Robert De Niro. Forget about it. He was sitting there and he was waiting to cash his ticket. And unlike what the rules are for sports books today, for the most part, I haven't been down to Biloxi yet to go to the new sports books. We got great.
I haven't made it out there yet either. Yeah,
we've got the Beau Rivage, we got IP Casino, we got some great sponsors.
Right, yeah.
But when it comes down to going down there, I've got family, friends down here during the weekends, but a lot of people have made that trip. Here's the thing, though. If you have $50 in your hand and you're betting a game, you put it in that, and let's say it's 50 to win 40. You get the 40 back at the end of the night plus your 50. So this guy's at the window. First one in line at halftime, and he's sitting there making sure everybody knew, everybody in the whole place. And this is at the Bellagio, where half these people do not care about this guy at all. They're either there to watch the games because there's 50 TVs to watch the games,
right,
or they want to get the free drink tickets. One or the other. It's one or the other. And you can actually play the game, the cards right, where you can bet a $5 bet and get about $100 worth of drink tickets for the day. So if you play that and you're an alcoholic, all right. But moving on here, looking at the game, he walks up to the window and he makes sure everybody knows. Guys, listen up. Give one of those, yo, listen up. Everyone's like, what is this, a hostage situation? And he's like, I got 100 G's on the Giants, baby. And you're doing these dances. Some of the girls now all of a sudden are walking towards him like, I don't know your name, but I love you. All of a sudden. And he's made that clear that he's got a horrible thing to do for a couple reasons. One, you haven't won the bet yet. And two, now you are a dead man walking through a casino because if a homeless person has nothing to lose, all they have to do is shank you and they might take your cash. So he's sitting there and he makes that announcement because he has the New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the New York Giants are tied 17-7. It's tied 17-17 at halftime, or tied 17-7 for the first time in the history of sports. Yeah, by 10 points. So 17-17, and they're sitting there, and he gets up there, and it is a kick from Lawrence Tynes, right here from Milton. Sorry, Lawrence, I got to throw this out here. But Lawrence Tynes gets up there, and it's New York +1. So he's getting up there for the kick to make it -3 at least into halftime. And it's like a 27-yard chip shot, just a little chip. One Adam Vinatieri should have made last year for the Colts. So all of a sudden he gets up there, looks it over. It's Joe Buck on the announcement, so there's no excitement. It's more like, Lawrence Tynes trying to go up 3 points, and the kick is up, and it is blocked. And Dallas has the ball. Going back the other way. 50, 40, 35, 20, 10 touchdown. Touchdown Cowboys. And they make the extra point. Block kick, and they score coming back. Now, remember what I just told you is he had the Giants +3. So at that point, no matter what, if they would have taken a knee, he wins the ticket.
Right.
And instead, the kick gets blocked, and all of a sudden it goes back. Cowboys win at halftime by 6 points. And all of a sudden, this guy, everybody, and I've never seen so many horrible people in their heart because this guy did just lose $100,000. If he, admitted that. No, they didn't be get on the PA system ladies and gentlemen, Enrico DiCasio right here, $100,000 is down. Let's give it up for him. Bad day here. Buy him a drink afterwards, ladies. Nobody made the announcement, but you could tell this guy and after that moment, what I thought in my head in sports was, I'm done. I am done ever judging or ever looking at a win or anything until it's over. because this guy just lost as much as most people would make in a couple years and did it in a way where he made a fool of himself, but somebody with like a Grinch heart back there had to feel bad that this guy lost six figures. I didn't. I laughed at him. But, yeah, Jordan, sometimes you realize in sports that no matter what, you're prepared, no matter how good you are, Skittles away from the end zone from Marshawn Lynch, there are always going to be those moments.
Yeah, and honestly, for that guy at the betting room, I wouldn't have felt bad for him.
No.
I mean, he asked for it.
I know he's your dad too, and I know you said that to him too. I mean,
forget about it.
You're supposed to get a new truck for college and some of this stuff, but I know.
But I mean, you know what? You go up there, you're banging on your chest, you're making a scene out of it. You're being asked to be made fun of if you lose. So I have no sympathy for that guy. He got what was coming to him.
No, it's like every fan at the game. The guy that's obnoxious, the guy that we always talk about that guy in sports, like the guy that right before second down and like 13, incomplete pass, third and 13 is coming up. He's at home. Team's down like 14-7 in the fourth. And he gets up about 0.5 seconds before everybody else. All right, everybody, get on your feet. Get on your feet, third down, let's make some noise. Like the guy that does the wave and think he's the only one in the whole stadium that does that. And you're sitting there like, dude, bro, like there's 100 different billboards that are saying defense, defense. Like you're not the one that's getting this. And then he takes credit and does the whole wave, like does the hands and all this other stuff. And if you want to see my antics, by the way, we are on right now. ESPN Pensacola on Facebook, so you can see these clown moves I'm making in studio. But Jordan, sometimes you get to the point where you realize that, you know, sports and fandom is something that emotionally you could be the best in baseball more than any other sport, which is going on right now. And we're going to talk to Bill Vallona coming up here at 5:30. I'm excited, as always, as they return home. Wahoo's back at home. Should be a good night if you're looking for something to do out there. And, you know, if you're getting off work and you think it's a little bit hot, you've been wearing jeans and been sweating at work like I have, you realize that if you get down to the stadium, it drops about 10 to 15 degrees based on you get a nice Gulf breeze.
Can we go finish the show down there?
That's right. Let's go right there. Fast on the Hancock Center, not just because the food's like a couple inches away, but, you know, Jordan, here's the thing. In baseball more than ever, you can have a game where you're lights out, 7 innings, no hit, and all of a sudden, one guy gets pegged because he sticks his arm out like Derek Jeter. The next guy comes out, hits a 2-run homer, and you lose the game 2-1. And you just spent 2.5 hours looking in fuego. And then just like that, it happens.
Yeah.
And it's the one sport where if you build out a lead, you're really never comfortable. In the NFL, if you're up 49-0 and you lose the game, it's never happened. But if you're Frank Wright, 35-3, who Coach K had a chance to draft a coach, it'll be forever. In the NBA, if you're down 20 or 30, it becomes history. Baseball, 9-0 leads, happens all the time. And it's sad, but that's the truth of the matter. And when it comes down to it, you just realize sometimes that guy at the sports book could be you one day. And we could all laugh at your 100,000. When we come back, we are going to talk a little more about what's going on right now. We'll get to some local news. The UWF Argos in action today in softball, also the baseball team. And we're also going to get to what's going on right now in Florida with Jalen Jones. Maybe not the story you thought when he was transferring out in that portal. Coming back for more right here on the Sports Drive.
ESPN Pensacola 945 is accepting applications for employment. Periodically, we have openings in sales, business, news, promotions, engineering, production, and programming. We'll keep your application for consideration when such an opening occurs. We also provide internships to qualified students. Apply online at ESPNpensacola.com or at our studios at 7251 Plantation Road behind University Town Plaza on Davis Highway between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. ADX Communications is an equal opportunity employer.
At Merrick, we know dogs are in charge. So our dog foods start with deboned meat, poultry, or fish, and Sorry. Coming!
Here's your ducky.
And because real whole foods are better for your dog, each Merrick recipe is packed with whole fruits and vegetables. Excuse me.
You want to go out right now? Okay.
Dogs are in charge. Serve them well. Merrick.
Available at your local pet store.
1033, home invasion, 3 detained.
Description.
Mouse, female, spreading disease, contaminating food.
Copy that.
Termite, male, property damage.
Go ahead.
Stinging insect, male, triggered allergic reaction, major health risk.
Pests like mice, cockroaches, termites, and stinging insects pose real health and property risks. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. That's PEST world.org.
A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
Florida, with its sunny weather and beautiful beaches, is a great place to walk and bike. Alert Today Florida encourages you to think beyond the driver's seat. Consider making a trip or two per week on foot or by bike. Active transportation like walking and biking can improve your health, reduce stress, and give you a few minutes to enjoy the sunshine. And here are a few tips to help you walk and bike safely. Remember, when walking, cross in the crosswalk and obey the pedestrian signals. And when riding, obey traffic laws and always ride in the direction of traffic, because safety doesn't happen by accident.
Experienced truck drivers. Are you searching for a company that will let you pick the kind of driving job you want? At Schneider, professionals personalize their careers by choosing from 38 different types of driving positions. That means a better career to fit your lifestyle. If you want even more choice, Schneider drivers can also choose from over 50 unique dedicated accounts. Enjoy experienced driver pay, the respect you deserve, and choices that only Schneider can offer. Find out for yourself at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big, flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Drive right here, ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. I am Chad Berliante, glad to be with you as always, alongside Jordan Glass, having some fun. The NFL draft coming to an end, so now we just get to complain about our team or act like our team's the best, even though we have no clue. And that's one thing, Jordan. When you look right now at the teams and breaking it down, the only thing we ask is for you to actually know what's happening. Meaning that, do you know who the players are? Do you know what's happening? And look, Stephen A. Smith comes on afterwards, and we are all part of this business. And once in a while, we throw in a comment. Look, half of this show, I throw in a comment that someone's like, should he have said that on air? But here's the difference, is I think we both can count. And one of the big reasons why when we were starting this company back in September and everything, I'd worked with you before, Davis, some of these guys. We all were part of the team. We trust each other that when you're on air, you know what you're about to talk about. Whether it's an opinion or not, which is sports, you might not always get it right, but at least there's knowledge behind the game. And that's all we ask. If someone asks, Alabama's playing Vanderbilt in football, what do you think the final score is? And you said, well, you know what? Roll blank and tide. Whoa! Okay, you could be right. They might win that game 65-7, which is probably going to happen. But you didn't answer the question. If you said, look, Tua was 9 for 9 last game. He's got the best quarterback ranking. You got an offensive line ranked number 1 in the country. You got 4 guys on the defensive line that are going to go in the NFL draft. You got a linebacking core that's all seniors, a secondary that's number 4 overall in the nation and only getting better because teams are down when they throw against them. You've added a little enlightenment to what's happening. Here's the thing with Stephen A. Smith. He's on our network 1 to 2, and we love Stephen. He's great at basketball for the most part and things like this, but once in a while, we got to poke the bear. And in this one, we're going to poke the bear a couple times on some of the comments that he made. And this first one is on Joel Embiid really getting things rolling tonight. Big game number 3, all tied 1-1, baby. Heading back to Philly, City of the Boot Santa Claus, the Liberty Bell, and apparently the Steelers.
Shared with Max, and I wanted to get your opinion about this. I believe the only chance the Steelers have, because Joel Embiid is not.
Only chance the Steelers have right there is Joel Embiid. Now, Joel Embiid, what do you think? If you put him at a tight end, maybe he didn't He went and had the controversy of Jesse James at the goal line, but it didn't stop there. 5 minutes later, and we love you, but we got to rag on you when we can. Now we enter the world of baseball and Mike Scioscia and the LA Angels.
Jeff Passan, having said all of that, we look at other individuals. Mike Scioscia, for example, entering his 19th season as the manager for this ball club. Does a contract like Mike Trout apply more pressure to somebody like him to turn things around, or else Morena's going to move in a different direction?
Well, Scioscia is gone, actually. Brad Ausmus is the manager.
Oh, my God. I'm
the
sorry.
Angels.
I totally forgot about that. I can't believe I forgot about that because Mike Scioscia was one of my favorite guys. No problem.
There's a lot of shuffling going on during
It's a lot of shuffling going on, man. It's a lot of shuffling
Scott
going on.
Passan's a nice guy, too. Look, Scott Passan's got the hair going like us. He's a nice guy. But overall, yeah, he kindly, you had to, to answer that question, it's one thing, sometimes you let things go. If I'm like, let's talk a little bit about Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's get into more on what they're, you might let it go because you know what I'm talking about. But when you put the wrong city or the wrong team or a guy, when you're leading the question in to deliver an answer on the guy that's sitting on the couch retired, you can't do much about it.
Yeah, it's like, look, if he was talking about the Penguins, a player for the Penguins, and he accidentally called them the Steelers, I'll forgive him because it's the same city.
Yeah.
This is not the same city.
No.
It's just, oh my
goodness. And this one, the coach is clearly, we're not, and this isn't a weekend.
No, we're 30-plus games into the season.
We're 1/4 through the season right now. And I watched Brad Ausmus yesterday. He's a pretty good coach. He played the game. He knows what he's doing. He walked out there. I watched this game last night. I can tell you, I'm probably one of the only guys that stayed up until like 2 o'clock watching the Toronto Blue Jays and LA Angels, but I watch every game. And my wife is like, why are you up at 2 a.m.? I said, listen, that's what we do. But one of the things, when you look right now at, when it comes down to play calling and stuff like that, you just got to at least get the name of the team right. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. Let's move on to our next thing right now on a bad play call when it comes to baseball. Because having a chance to get to broadcast baseball for now about 14 years, Las Vegas 51ers. So clearly everybody that went to Las Vegas is going out there for minor league baseball. That's what they do. Bellagio, craps, going out to see an Usher concert, a rave, one of those
doing a stay up there.
Hey,
go see Aerosmith and
Wayne
then go,
Newton.
Go watch the Area 51ers or whatever
that's
they're
right.
called.
You don't even know the name of the team. That's exactly right. And that's the thing is, most of the girls that they go to the Thunder Down Under then go right to the Las Vegas 51ers game in the middle of the desert. And I had a chance to call minor league baseball. And you got to add some excitement to the calls. Gus Johnson's the best because it'll be a tip-off in the March Madness tournament. It'll be, and welcome in here on CBS, and we've got a beautiful night ahead of us. We've got LaSalle taking on North Carolina. It's a tip-off, and it's good! 3-0, LaSalle! And all of a sudden, everyone's like, what's happening right now? Everyone's like on the couch, like, why am I cheering for this team that's about to get beat by 40? But you get excited. Yes, Marv Albert. Yes, from downtown. Or one of those, boom, shakalaka. Like, have some fun. This was pretty much a walk-off home run that won the game for the Minnesota Twins. 465-foot moonshot from Jonathan Schoop, and this is what it got.
Power slider to put guys away, but since that Tommy John surgery, I don't think he's gotten it back.
Ball hit well to left field. This will be gone. In fact, that's well up there. That is into the top deck. Jonathan Schoop, who is now 5 for 12 in his career against McHugh with a couple of home runs, just sent that one into the third deck at Target Field for a 2-0 lead.
Ball was well struck. You got to get calling early.
Ball was well struck. The only reason that was even a little bit great was because of the ambient noise from the home crowd.
Right.
If that was an away game, it would have been like crickets, and it would have been more embarrassing. But you're sitting there going, okay, the guy just hit the ball almost 500 feet into the third deck at Target Stadium, a stadium that's not used to home runs. I mean, Minnesota, don't you know, is not known for being a home run park out there. When they built that stadium, and he hits this thing, crushes it, Cecil Fielder style, one of those bat flips, no doubters, and you get that. One more. Let's play it one more time. Let's play this just to show, like, this guy, when you hit the ball 465, almost 500 feet, this thing is crushed. And this is what he gets.
Power slider to put guys away, but since that Tommy John surgery, I don't think he's gotten it back.
Ball hit well to left field. This will be gone. In fact, that's well up there. That is into the top deck.
That's 3 rows into
Jonathan
the
Scope,
and that ball is gone.
who is now 5 for 12 in his career against McHugh with a couple of home runs, just sent that one.
This will be gone. The thing was crushed. I mean, we're watching the video right here, and that thing was, that was a no-doubter.
Yeah.
That was a big hurt. That was a Ken Griffey right there.
If you happen to be scrolling through Facebook at that time, you hear it hit the ball, and you just automatically look up because you know.
Come on, bro. This is baseball. Baseball, and that's what's missing is, if you want to get the kids involved today, there's a reason why, look, Kim Kardashian got famous for some reason. Or, I don't know. Or if you had but we're not going down that road. Or, or Bruce Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner for some. No, I'm just playing. But no, that is a choice in life, and I'm not dealing with that. We're all equality on the show. Now, looking at this case right here, though, are you kidding me, man? Are you serious? You have one shot in a baseball game, be like, it's back, it's gone! You don't have to go, go! You don't have to go, over the top, every time. But this is, let's go Harry Carey.
A little of this. This is what it's supposed to sound like.
Now the pitch. There's a high drive, deep right center, way back. Might be out of here. It's off the wall. 1 run is in.
It's not even a home run. Yeah, I know.
A third man scores. And look at this.
6 Budweisers deep.
Way back. Might be out of here.
Hey!
So that's what it's supposed to sound like.
Harry Carey used to do that. We all grew up with either TBS or WGN. Right. And for the most part, it was either the Braves on TBS, or you got WGN with Harry Carey and Steve Stone.
Yeah.
And the thing was, Harry Carey on balls that were ground outs would give you, it's a long fly ball out to right field. It's back at the track. It's go the Hawk, Andre Dawson. It's gone. Ryan Sandberg coming through. Cubs win. Cubs win. Then Steve Stone would step in and be like, that's a double play to shortstop. We'll be back on WGN tomorrow with the Cubs versus the Cardinals and a 3-2 loss. Thanks for joining us. Cubs way, and he's still yelling in the background after 4 Bud Heavies. And you're sitting there going, okay, at least he gave you the excitement. That is your one job in sports more than anything, is to make things exciting. Yeah. The ShamWow guys, or the, Billy Mays before he passed. The Billy Mays was like, I got this OxyClean crap. I don't even know if it works, man. I got this stain. I don't even know. My kid came home from work. Some brown stuff on his shoes. He smeared it all over my mom's couch, and my mom's pissed. And all of a sudden, I can't get it off the couch. OxyClean's not going to do it. You kidding me? The thing, that was a white couch. It's like $500. I mean, what was that? It's $800. Oh, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. $800 couch, and I'm supposed to get OxyClean. You can try to get that crap out. Back to you guys. If you think anybody's going to the store to buy that?
No,
I do have OxyClean because I like Billy Mays and the way this stuff will get anything off in the world. You got a bad problem, you have a bad car, you got a bad engine, you got a bad carburetor, a bad girlfriend, you got a bad job at work, you make $30,000, you want to make $1 million, OxyClean, and all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, man, this is awesome, and you're sitting like, oh, it's a $4.99 bottle. This doesn't do much for me right now. It's sort of sitting on my couch, and that stain's still there. But here's the thing: is you gotta sell it. You gotta live it. You gotta live and breathe it. That's why Dickie V and these guys get paid a bunch of money. It's awesome, baby, diaper dandies. You know who's not that good? A lot of the diaper dandies. Indiana, UCLA. A lot of teams aren't that great right now. Kansas wasn't that great either. But the difference is, you gotta sell it. It's awesome, baby, with a capital A. Not this. That's a 500-foot home run. That might be the longest ever in the history of this stadium right there. Jonathan Shope. That might have won the game right there. I think I just saw a butterfly. On that note, we're coming back with Bill Valona, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Bill has been writing for the Wahoos for a long time. We're going to have some fun. Hall of Fame writer, as they'll be in action tonight against the Biloxi Shuckers. Game 2 of the series. Best record in the Southern League coming up here at 6:35. We're also going to talk with Auburn coach Pat Dye. You never know what you're going to get. He always adds some spark to the conversation. You know, it's paying a toll last time he was on air. It's coming back for more right here on the Sports Drive.
Our Pensacola Wahoos are back for another season, and with the new season comes some fresh and new changes. Our Wahoos are now the new AA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins, and they have a new broadcast home here in Pensacola, right here at your hometown station for hometown sports, ESPN Pensacola 945. Catch all the Wahoos action from home and away with Chris Garagiola. Wahoos baseball presented by Denny's on the new official flagship station for the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 945 and ESPNpensacola.com.
Springtime is almost here. It's the perfect time to tackle the next job on your list. And AutoZone has the free services to help you do it. With the AutoZone Rewards program, members get more, like a $20 reward every time you spend $20 or more 5 times. And right now, get 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic or Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil and an FTP Extended Life Oil Filter for $17.99 after a $15 AutoZone gift card by mail. Let us help you at more than 5,600 locations nationwide. See terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions and details in store.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5 is all sports all the time. Talk football year-round with local sports legend Coach K. From quarterbacking the Pensacola High Tigers to coaching the Buffalo Bills, Coach K's life has been all about the game, the teams, the players, and the coaches. Talk football with Coach K at noon on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, Craneworks. The Craneworks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give Craneworks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth-moving equipment. Call Craneworks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
When Jamie Stevens got out of the Navy in 1968, he opened J&D Cleaners. With his commitment to quality cleaning at fair prices, the business grew to become the best dry cleaners in Santa Rosa County. Jimmy's son, Corey, owns J&D Cleaners now, and he shares the family commitment to excellence. J&D Cleaners has discounts for military uniforms, on-site alterations, and a convenient drive-through window at the Milton location. Trust your clothes to J&D Cleaners on Stewart Street, just north of 90 in Milton, and on Woodbine Road, just south of 5 Points and Pace. It's J&D Cleaners.
The year was 1919. Barbasol shaving cream was invented by a dreamer named Frank Shields. The world's first modern shave cream, Barbasol changed the face of shaving forever. A few billion shaves later, Frank's dream lives on. Behind every face is a dream. Barbasol proudly salutes every fearless, self-assured, wide-eyed dreamer all across America. Celebrating 100 years. Barbasol.
And welcome back to the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. Chad Brillante, Jordan Glass with you here on this Thursday evening. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to talk with legendary Auburn coach Pat Dye, having some fun during the offseason. I'm going to ask him, hopefully Jarrett Stidham can learn from Tom Brady and be the next GOAT. But you know what? I don't think that's any of his business now that he's in the pros. Joining us now to talk a little about the pros, and he's been around Pensacola for a very long time, Hall of Fame writer. I've done so many events. This year was honored to get to watch him have a chance to co-host with Dan Shugart right there for the Pensacola the Florida Sports Hall of Fame across everything. Thanks again to Flash right there in Gordon Sprague, bringing it here to the NAS. And Bill Valona has been somebody I've looked up to in the business for a long time. Now he's with the Blue Wahoos, and he's kind enough to make time for us here today. Bill, we appreciate your time, and the Wahoos will be out there again tonight on a beautiful night, and looking forward to some baseball.
Yes, hey, Chad, good to be on the show. And yeah, it's a spectacular night and a big night because tonight the Blue Wahoos will be the AA debut for Alex Kirilloff, the number 8 rated prospect in baseball, and he'll be batting second for the Blue Wahoos and playing in the outfield. And this is a big moment in his career tonight as he continues the journey to the major leagues. And this is a player that I think everybody should be pretty excited to see play.
Has he ever expected to wear number 47 so we could go with AK-47 on there and we could have some fun with it?
Yeah, that's right. I tell you, the one thing that's funny, Chad, he's worn a couple different uniforms, and in spring training, I think he did have a really high number one day because they didn't have another uniform or somehow, and in the transition, his jersey got misplaced. So he's had a number of different uniforms, but this guy, met with members of the local media today before the game, and he's just got that factor that you look for, I think, in a guy that is projected to be. The Twins are hoping a long-term major leaguer one day.
Well, I'm telling you, Bill, if we're looking forward to Kirilloff, which we are here tonight at the ballpark at 6:45, the number 8 overall prospect in baseball right now, when you look at it making his debut. But, watching Gratterall or watching guys like Smeltzer, I mean, if we're looking forward to this guy, we've watched guys go out there and pretty much pitch 1 and 2 hitters left and right for this team. It just goes to show you how loaded this Minnesota Twins organization is now partnering with the Blue Wahoos.
Exactly, and I'm glad you brought up Devin Smeltzer. He got promoted today to AAA Rochester, New York. The Twins have had their AAA affiliation there forever, I think, and so he is now one step away from a major league debut. And Devin Smeltzer in 5 starts gave up 2 earned runs. And if people are listening, and don't know his background, he beat cancer when he was 9 years old, and so this is a remarkable story for him, to be able to rise to this level, and from where he was as a young boy, and no one knew if he ever played baseball again, and now here he is playing on the doorstep of a major league opportunity. So yes, the Twins, they're in first place right now in the American League Central. They're having a great start, and their farm system is very good, and we're seeing some of that here.
Speaking with Bill Valona, senior writer and Hall of Fame writer here in Pensacola with the Pensacola Blue Wahoos now. And, Bill, I got to ask this for your journalistic perspective on here, because it has nothing to do with the Wahoos, but the game in general. I'm watching I'm one of probably very few that was up until about 1 a.m. watching the Blue Jays and Angels because I couldn't sleep last night. And I'm watching this game, and they show a stat that there's about 250 more home runs this year at this point than there was 5 years ago. And, we've moved towards an age where we're promoting no more PEDs, and, the game is more about pitching. But do you think, and nothing to do with the Wahoos, but do you believe that the ball, as Dallas Keuchel has said for Houston, who is still trying to find his team after winning the Cy Young 2 years ago, do you believe the ball is juiced?
I think the ball is definitely a lot more lively, let's say, than it was in the past. Yeah. Exactly. Now, I'll tell you the other factor that is definitely an issue, or in a good way. Chad, these guys are coming out of these high school programs, and they've played a lot of baseball. They've lifted a lot of weight. They are training year-round in high school in baseball. This did not happen years ago. So the guy that is coming out of high school as a really talented player, or coming out of college, they have worked on the game for a long time. So when they're getting to the professional level, they're already physically ahead, probably, of players from yesteryear, and they're definitely stronger, faster in many ways than what we've seen, overall from the past. So that's a big factor too. But I do definitely think the ball's lively, and probably it's a good thing. People love seeing home runs. They want to see offense, and I think anything baseball can do to kind of make the game more lively, Chad, is important, because at the big league level, attendance is down, and they're concerned about how do you get more young fans. Well, action, offense. That's what's gonna get people to say, "Oh man, it's so cool." That's what you need.
Well, and that's one of the things down there at Blue Wahoo Stadium is, Bill, you guys, it's always entertaining. You know, you go to the game and you've got stuff going on throughout the innings. No matter what it is, there is some kind of theme going on. Had a chance to sit there with Daniel, and we got to judge the Pensacola's Got Talent, and it's been pretty cool because I've been out to about 6 or 7 games this year, and Bill, and getting to listen to some of the ladies and men that got to sing the national anthem for us, and I remember judging them, and we only put kind remarks. You know, that's what we do. But overall, right. It's pretty cool that you get to see all these people out there. But it really is, and it truly is. And Bill, you've been around for a long time in sports and covered a lot of teams, but it's not like this in a lot of places. What the Blue Wahoos do down, it's an entertaining aspect for everybody, from the fan of baseball to somebody that just wants to get a nice breeze tonight and have fun with your family out there.
Well, Chad, the reason they've done so well in a small market like Pensacola is because the people that work here work nonstop to try to make it better and successful every single night. I mean, we meet every morning after a game and we go over the pluses and the minuses, and everybody works together to try to make this the best experience possible for fans. And you know, that's what's special about being here on the inside after covering the team. I knew they were good off the field. I knew their success at the box office. But to see it up close is pretty special because there's a lot of talented men and women here that work a lot of long hours to make this work, because we are not in a Birmingham. We are not in a Jacksonville, for example, that has lots of businesses and lots of large companies that can buy large blocks of tickets. So here it's a challenge, you know, every homestand and every year to maintain your fan base. They've done an amazing job at that.
Well, Bill, we're excited, and the team continues to win right now. A great season, 17-9 overall. Tonight it is Thirsty Thursday. I don't know how I know that. Just we'll put that in the back burner. But overall, it's going to be an awesome time out there. Another beautiful night at the ballpark, and you get a chance to watch Alex Kirilloff. And like you said, if you're a sports fan, you need to come out here. He's the number 8 prospect overall in baseball for the 2019 debut down there on the mound. Bill, we're always excited. We're looking forward to first pitch right there with Chris Garagiola at 6:35. We're excited to cover the games right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5, and it is always great catching up with you.
Well, thanks for being a partner, and Chad, I'll talk to you soon, and everyone have a wonderful rest of the day and weekend ahead, okay?
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it as always. All right. And, you know, one of the things I was going to ask him, but this is probably off the air right here, the kazoo doll has, my kazoo bobblehead has fallen to it's done. It is falling off. It's done. It's not making it back. Billy Hamilton could escape everybody. He can actually on a single from first base score, but he could not escape my desk as Billy Hamilton's bobblehead shattered into pieces right there and could not escape. So at this point, I needed to ask him for a new kazoo bobblehead. I've seen one on Kevin King's desk over there, but look, this is first off an area with 4 stations where I believe the premise of ADX Communications and being about the community is not to steal things from people. So I will talk to Kevin. Maybe we can put it up here with the shakers and things like that. But overall, yes, we are not going to take anything out of people. I did give him a Ron Gant autographed baseball thing. Do you see that?
You did, yeah.
That's right. Huh? Yeah. So maybe it's like one of those movies. You just take it right off. Where's my kazoo bobblehead? You see that in the morning tomorrow. I'm at my desk. Where's my kazoo bobblehead? All right, when we come back, Kevin would never do that. When we come back, we're going to talk a little more about what's going on with Pat Dye, legendary Auburn coach. He's been working in his yard. I just got the text all day. Sweet tea and lemonade. That's what he's drinking. That's all. We're going to talk to Coach Pat Dye coming back right here in the Sports Drive.
ESPN Pensacola has you covered from the national and local levels. From Golick and Wingo to the Sports Drive, the Paul Feinbaum Show to talk football with Coach K, we have it all. It's the latest and best in sports talk radio, making us Pensacola's hometown sports network. ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on HD Radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming online at our website at ESPNpensacola.com.
Let's say you just bought a house. Bad news is, you're one step closer to becoming your parents. Soon you'll have a separate fridge in the basement, where extra groceries are exiled forever. Remember that frozen lasagna? Of course you don't. It's been down there since 2008. Good news is, it's easy to bundle home and auto through Progressive and save on your car insurance. Piece of cake. Behind the lasagna. It's very old. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Sports Call with Jordan Glass.
A guy like Kyler Murray, great athlete, yes. We talked about it before, great athlete, got a lot of talent. Because of his size, I just see that being something that hurts him inside the NFL.
Then Davis Allens.
It's so much harder to be successful in the NFL, but is it beneficial for you in the long run?
Every Saturday morning on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
At Merrick, we know dogs are in charge. So our dog foods start with deboned meat, poultry, or fish, and Sorry. Coming! Here's your ducky. And because real whole foods are better for your dog, each Merrick recipe is packed with whole fruits and vegetables. Excuse me. You want to go out right now? Okay. Dogs are in charge. Serve them well. Merrick. Available at your local pet store.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Springtime is almost here. It's the perfect time to tackle the next job on your list. And AutoZone has the free services to help you do it. With the AutoZone Rewards program, members get more, like a $20 reward every time you spend $20 or more 5 times. And right now, get 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic or Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil and an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for $17.99 after a $15 AutoZone gift card by mail. Let us help you at more than 5,600 locations nationwide. See terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions and details in store.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
And welcome back to the Sports Drive, 546 on this Thursday evening. It's always great on Thursday because you get a chance to sit down and talk a little college football with legendary Auburn coach Pat Dye. I know he's been working out there on his Maple Reserve over the last couple hours, and we've been inside. And I would like to say we're in the AC, but we're in about 84 degrees in the sauna on here, so I think we're around the same here. But he's been doing more work, more actual physical activity, and is a better man for that. Coach Pat Dye joining us. Coach, we appreciate your time as always.
Well, I'm just glad I can still do it.
I was talking to Lynn earlier. So you've been out there right now. You've been planting new bushes for the wedding area?
Well, yeah. And I got out here and everything needs water, and so I've been watering. You think you're getting enough rain, but a lot of times you're not. And then sometimes, plant needs more water than another one does. You can't find it on a sprinkler system because you don't go out there. You got to walk it and look it and water it and go from there. But it's not something that I dread doing. When I'm watering, I'm looking at trees and plants and thinking about pulling weeds. You're always pulling weeds.
I know that.
And, but thinking about what you can do to improve what you're doing, and it's just a fun way for me to live.
Well, I like doing it. Yeah, I was talking to your buddy yesterday, Gene Stallings, out there. He's got a bunch of the blue bonnets coming out there in Texas.
Mm-hmm. They go wild out there, I believe, don't they?
Oh, yeah. You can't do anything about them. I'm trying to get rid of these dollar weeds. The problem is I got somebody coming and spraying, and it kills the whole yard. I can't do anything.
Oh, yeah. You kill all the dollar weeds, and you look out there and you ain't got any grass.
You got nothing to do right there. You can't win on that one. But, Coach, we're in the South, but you guys could do a lot of weddings, and you never want to plan for this, but have you been at a wedding where you had to help or a wedding that was going south and maybe came through?
Well, I never have. The ones that we've had here have been pretty well organized and off with that. Now, we've had some weather issues that we had to step in and change some things, but as far as the ceremony itself, no, we but I do have a license to marry, so if you want to get remarried or what is it they call it when you renew your vows, I can do that. But I guess I'm legitimate. I got my license online, and everybody says they're legitimate.
Well, I don't need to worry about that. I've got a good one right there, and we got a 3-year-old, and she's getting bigger each and every day. And yeah.
Boy, you hit the jackpot when y'all had her. She was a beautiful little girl, and I can just look at her and tell she's maybe have just a little mischief.
Thank God she got my wife's genes, right? That's what you're thinking, I'm sure.
Well,
But, and I know, Coach, you get to hang out with...
qualify for that.
Yeah, and I know you get a chance to go out there horseback riding with Lynn's girls and stuff like that. It means a lot, And those are memories right there. And you realize you've coached football. We get to talk about sports each day. And in the South, it's college football is king, NFL, what we talk about. But, family and life always should come first. And I think that's one thing a lot of people can relate to. And during this offseason, now part of the family is the new Auburn quarterback, Jared Stidham, to my New England Patriot and Boston family right there. I hope he couldn't have picked a better guy to learn from than Tom Brady.
Play for Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's won more than anybody out there. And probably going to go down as the greatest professional, coach ever. Him and Coach Saban's head that way in football, and he's already there. And in college football, and Coach Belichick's already there in the NFL. I think he's got to win more games maybe to tie somebody. I'm not even sure who it is, but they're both of them great coaches. So, and he is lucky just to be around Brady. I'd soak up everything I could soak up from that guy because he's won when he wasn't supposed to win, and he don't lose much when he's supposed to win. So that's what you're looking for in a quarterback. We picked our top 2 quarterbacks. I guess, that's down in his name. Coach Miles on named Gatewood, and Nix is the top 2. He says 1 and 1A. And that, unless something drastic happens, if they finish spring, finish or something. They got 4. I didn't realize it. We got 4 months to get better before we play the first game. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good spell in there where you can do a lot of studying and a lot of pitching and catching and do a lot of things that quarterbacks have to do. And you need the repetition just to make it become part of your personality. And so I'm not sure that we talked about this last week, but I'm fascinated at the number of quarterbacks coming back in the Southeastern Conference. You look around the conference and everybody's got a quarterback. The only two that don't have quarterbacks that have played and started, I think, is Arkansas and Auburn. Georgia's got a 3rd-year guy. South Carolina's got a 4th-year guy. Florida's got a 4th-year guy. Missouri's got one that's been to 2 national championships. The guy at Vanderbilt played 4 years of college football. Tennessee's got the same one they had last year that beat us over here. Vaughn, the quarterback at A&M, he's going to get better. The guy at LSU won 10 games last year. So I don't ever recall the conference having as many good quarterbacks as it does this year.
Speaking with legendary Auburn,
Alabama's got two.
Yes, they do. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, too, at this point, it is so hard to judge. I always say this, and you've been around the game, so you know a lot more than I do, but when it comes down to it, the college football transition to being a great quarterback, it doesn't always look. We all deemed Jeremy Johnson, if it was up to Vegas, as a next Heisman Trophy winner, and Sean White was going to be the next coming, and it doesn't always work out that way. Nick Marshall was this JUCO transfer that nobody knew about, and he takes you to a national title. Yep. It doesn't always work as it's expected in college football, and I think we need to realize that. And at this point, the one thing is Auburn knows is you got about 5 or 6 different people going for that one job. So you got to feel that one of these guys, if Gus Malzahn, which you trust with the offense, can eventually get it done.
Well, I really like both of these guys, and I like Malik Willis, but he's making some mistakes with the football and gets himself in trouble more than Jake one and Nick. And, the first thing you got to have in a quarterback is one that won't get you beat. So that's you got to eliminate mistakes and bad plays, and then all starts with quarterback, because that's what the ball, he handles the ball on every snap.
Coach, you've had a chance to be around the game for a long time, and I think it's something that is a very tough question to answer unless you've been there, done that, to really see it. What to you, judging the personalities in the NFL and trying to get them to have a culture of a winning success, or being a coach in college to coach young minds and develop them into national champions, what do you think is a tougher job from your mind?
Well, I never coached in the NFL now, so I would be speaking just from the college standpoint. But it's definitely a big difference, and the big difference is the age of the players. You're not talking to children; you're talking to grown men with families that are playing the game as a business, and the great coaches up there have a way of getting those guys to buy into the team aspect of it and play together. And those are the ones that win. That's what Belichick does. And they don't. And normally, they're not loaded up with 5-star guys and super athletes, and they got to have enough playmakers on offense and enough playmakers on defense, and then surround them with guys that are going to get ready to play every week, and the chemistry gets right with a team that the kids are hungry and men are hungry. And a lot of times it doesn't come from the most celebrated players. It comes from some of those guys who's just lucky to be there. And they know it.
Well, it's going to be an exciting offseason right now for the Auburn Tigers with the quarterback battle, but it's also going to be exciting out there on your Maple Reserve. I was, we were talking earlier about everything going on. You've got, for people out there that want to get married, I know you got the farm, the board horses, trail rides, everything going on out there. Football weekends coming up there for everybody out there listening, and they want to do a wedding, which I would love to if I go back in a time machine right now to do a wedding at Coach Pat Dye's venue right there. How can they get in contact?
Well, they need to call QuailHollerGardens.com, CoachPatDye.com, and Lynn, her phone number is 707-9355. And but if they want to consider and coming here to get married, now we have a good time. It's not a place where you got to be. We're not a stiff neck kind of a place to get married.
We don't want any of that.
Yeah, we just we have a good time, and it's the Auburn people. I got a Simmons Corner clone. I got front of the hunt lodge. He can roll it if we play a game. We just roll it, whether it's one game or not. We just roll the tree just because we got married.
Nobody was getting married during that that Auburn-Virginia basketball game, were they?
I wouldn't think so.
Oh, man, that would have been a tough one right there.
That was, goodness, I'm telling you, it's so close. And, I mean, you're talking about Hitchens, and, I mean, it boiled down to the end there. And I still think we had the best basketball team in that Final Four. But we didn't win. And I think the experience of Virginia had been there the year before might have played a factor. And, of course, we lost the best player we got to an injury. And it's miraculous what they did with them, not even playing.
Well, everybody, if you're in the SEC or in the South, we're all proud for what Auburn did in basketball, no matter what. I mean, they want to, regardless, they could have stopped that when they just flat out smoked one of the Blue Bloods in Kansas, and they did, and they would have had everybody's respect. But what they did, heck, my school, UCF, we're having a parade at Disney for the Field of 32. You know that.
Yeah, well, good.
It's what we do.
We just won the national championship for the 6th time in the equestrian. Horses, riding horses, and it's out in Texas A&M. Number 1 school in the nation with equestrian. Just have equestrian teams. All of them don't have them. But we got it. We got a great coach, and those little girls are amazing what they can do with those big horses.
Well, I know you guys do it everything, and that's one thing living here in the South and moving down here is it's not about one sport. It's about being great athletes. And, growing up in a family with my dad that lived and breathed the Florida Gators right there, he used to carve Florida UF in our hedge bushes, and I always used to joke with him, Coach, and I know Florida was your rival right there, but I said...
When did you start to Florida? Did you went to UCF, didn't you?
I went to UCF. I couldn't play baseball for Coach O'Sullivan's team. I wasn't that good.
Well, they never won a conference championship until Sperry got there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I grew up. I remember the first thing I asked my daddy when I went down to the game in the Swamp. It was, and you might remember this guy. It was a little past after when you coached, but I think at the time, it was Tupperville was there, or Bowden, but it was Jared Lorenzen was quarterback for Kentucky. And I remember asking my dad, I said, why is the offensive tackle lining up behind quarterback? And he said, son, that's...
that big old giant.
The Pillsbury throw boy. Yeah, that 400-pound quarterback, yeah.
Yeah, and he wasn't bad.
That was a beast right there. I've never seen something like that, but you know what? He proved though to this day that it's not all about what's around the outside, but what you can chug with the legs right there. And he was a good athlete. Yeah, he knew how to run. That was fun to watch.
400 pounds is not easy.
No, it wasn't. Hey, if it was a QB sneak and it was to win the game, we'd all be walking out of the stadium.
Yeah. That's right.
That's right. Well, Coach, it is always great catching up with you. We're looking forward to it. I hope you get some AC. I know Lynn was telling me you've been outside all day.
It was hot out there this afternoon, and we've been complaining about cold weather and rain and so forth. We've been complaining about the hot weather here so long, but I've been living in the South, born and raised in the South, done it all because I was raised as a child before air conditioning, so I know about the heat. And as long as I can remember, it gets hot in June, July, and August. I mean, sometimes it gets pretty hot in May and September. It's been that way forever, so just get ready for it. It's coming. And then we'll have a little cooler off there, and then we'll get cold. We've got the greatest weather in the United States.
Well, look, I get to talk to you and Coach Gene Stallings every week, and not so much for you guys, but for a lot of coaches around the SEC in college football, it gets the hottest right after Thanksgiving, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does. Well, Coach, hey, I appreciate all the time, as always, and we're blessed to get to talk to you each and every week.
All right. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Coach Pat Dye, one of the best right there. He's been working all day out on his reserve right there. And if you need a wedding, that's a party. Like he said, if you're going to be there all waiting and everybody's looking over, nobody makes a peep, not some of these YouTube videos where people are jamming and doing some dance moves and stuff. Don't go to Pat Dye's wedding. It is like watching, I don't know if we're going this far, like Toomer's Corner, rolling the trees, but think about that and then think about a wedding venue. Just party time right there. And having some fun. He's an awesome guy, and we're lucky to have Coach on each and every week. And he made a nice comment right there about my daughter too. Clearly
he did.
He knows that my wife's. She looks like my wife, so thank God. When we come back, we're going to talk a little more about what's going on right now. Pensacola Blue Wahoos baseball, and Jeffrey D is going to join us to tell us why we should get ready to tailgate now for the Florida-Miami game. Coming back for more right here in the Sports Drive.
Tell your fan friends that you've switched to Pensacola's new ESPN, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. It's where you hear Chad Berlante's Sports Drive at 5, Coach K, and Sports Call with Jordan Glass and Davis Allen. Plus all of your ESPN national faves like Gullick and Wingo and Paul Feinbaum. And if you'd like to be an ESPN sponsor or one of our promotional partners, just give us a call at 262-6000. 262-6000.
On the way. Russell drives one in the air. Deep left center. Left back near the wall. It's got a chance. Grand slam. Grand slam, Addison Russell.
The new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
And Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? Bama scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trick Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And these them Louisiana, Pensacola guys, they looking crazy and all that.
Morris, blocked by the tight end call. That opens up the door. Breaking the Cambridge tackle. To the pylon. Touchdown.
Really nice effort there by Alfred Morris, extending that ball over the goal line.
Near side ball is that big game. Doug Baldwin's got a first down. And Doug Baldwin, 93 yards, now has back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Reggie Evans, and he's going to get an ovation. Guy from Pensacola, Florida.
I don't believe pills will help that. Oh, we're back. Okay, I'm sorry. Welcome back here. Sports Drive with you, ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. We're having some fun right here. Disregard that last time, but it will help. I do believe it will help. Joining us now, Jordan Glass, alongside now Jeffrey D, Jeff Davis. It's we were just talking. It's been like 4 days, and I'm like, it's been forever, man. I would give you a hug right here, but I think I would actually get strangled with this mic cord right here. So I just want to say welcome into the studio, and how's your day going?
Going well, and it's great to be here with you and Jordan. It's been several days, as you mentioned, so it's kind of a relief to get back into the swing of things.
That's right. That's what it feels like. The pain when. For both teams, watching Clemson, Alabama in that final game and having to wait all the way through. And the same thing when every single year, pretty much everybody sets their calendar to when the Patriots play in the Super Bowl and win, and you have to wait through that time. So right now, it's all fun. But somebody asked me the other day, and we've been talking about the venue for the Nashville Redneck Las Vegas party there for what was an insane 600,000 person NFL draft. And I look, I'm a sports fan. I love it. But I'm just imagining that one like old couple that was like, Thelma, I always think like Thelma and Wilt are their names. Thelma, we're about to go to get the best barbecue and see another Hank Williams impersonator here. We've never been to Nashville. I'm coming over here from Fairbanks, coming through here tonight. And all of a sudden they get stuck like a zombie movie in the middle of that. Like, I don't know, we're going to go see Hank tonight. And like, go Cowboys, Jets, baby. And you're like, face like those people. If you saw the streets, you could not, if you were just there for music, or to see Brett and Candy win another award for the the AMCs in Cat Country or anything going on, Jordan. Yeah. Another award here for Cat Country 98.7, whatever it was, you could not move in that thing. 600,000. To put it in perspective, probably a lot of you are ticked off when you tried to go through traffic for the Pensacola Blue Angels, correct? If you've been here, you've lived here, you understand that. That's 30 to 50,000. 30 to 50,000 people. 600,000 only on the streets, not a beach. We're not talking about practice. We're not talking we're talking not 600,000 on a beach and around a Sabine in the water in these huge Gulf areas. We're talking about 600,000 packing skinny-ass streets all across America, and that's what they did. And, man, I've never seen something like that, Jeff. Never.
They've made it a party.
Yeah, more
really,
than just a party, yeah. Well, and Nashville's a good place to party.
In Dallas a couple years ago, they probably had, a lot less than 600,000, probably 100,000 or 150,000. But now it's just a big old street party. I mean, it's like it is like a Mardi Gras squared in New Orleans. I mean, you go to Mardi Gras and there's probably at a parade there might be more than 100,000 people lining the streets. This was 600,000. I mean, this is incredible. This is like all the streets packed with people, and. Is it next year? It's going to be in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
If
you go on the Strip, good luck right there. Because there will be Japanese drivers that will run you over. I've lived on the Strip. They're not going to care that there's a sign that says detour. They will go right through you and run people over out there. I've lived there in a parking garage one way. I was like, go the other way. This little girl in a Tundra right there, and she was. I'm not going to be stereotypical, so I'm just going to say she was Asian, and she just kept coming at me, and I'm like, I'm going the right way. Like, you have to turn. It kept coming at the car, and eventually I had to turn around and like crush my car into the side, still have that dent, and paid the auto body damage, and she just kept going, and I'm like, did not matter. She was parking and had to play craps that day. It did not matter. I was playing at Hollywood Parking Garage, 6A. I'll never forget right there.
Are you sure that wasn't Rick Pitino?
That was it. No, Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino's a different story. No, this one was real, and if you've been to Vegas, you know that parking garages are not fun. I'm just saying. This one I saw clearly. It was a small. Thank God it was a Prius, not like a four-door truck. But I'm telling you, in that moment right there, you realize that it is insane. That was insane to see how. And I think the biggest reason why it's such a venue and such a party is because it gives everybody a little bit of hope. I'm speaking on behalf of the champions, the GOAT, and everybody today is probably right now listening to this, either cussing out the radio or wanting to turn it when I say, God bless the Patriots, right? The New England Patriots, deflated footballs. We all love Tom Brady. Yes, thank you for saying that together. My mic was muted by a Dolphin fan right there. But you can clearly say, the Patriots are the champions. Thank you. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate it. Thank you, Lene Kukua. Okay.
Can you read it again, Jordan?
I might have to, yeah.
But here's the difference. All the other 31 teams that aren't the Patriots at least get to feel for a little bit that excitement. Getting that chance. It's like when you go to Australia, you get to feel a little of the excitement down under. And now they all get a little of that. They all get to feel a little. Jordan, you got to feel a little excitement.
Yeah.
Jordan, you got to, Jeff, you got to feel the tingle. Everybody got a chance to feel that excitement that I've been feeling forever, and it felt good.
That's great, Chad. I mean, that's a way to put it. But, I think that most of the...
You didn't have to answer that question, by the way. I was going to say...
the Giant fan, there's probably like 2 million Giant fans watching that thing, and they felt good until the 6th pick.
That's right.
And then they said that Daniel Jones was their future, and they suddenly didn't have that kind of buzz anymore.
Here's the thing about that pick, and you know how I feel about this. I think that the quarterback position is the one position, though, where after Patrick Mahomes, after Jerry Goff and guys like that, I'm done getting on here and being like, You listen, you morons. Like, I think the quality, and we've talked about this.
Right, yeah.
You know, the quality is they could have got him at 17. I truly believe that he would have been left on the board at 17. For that matter, you could have got Josh Allen and Daniel Jones and created a chaos and a buzz compared to Dexter Lawrence, who, look, he's good, but Clemson didn't even need him to beat Alabama last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't even need him on the line, 6'3", 340 pounds of him, to beat an Alabama Crimson Tide without him, and they get him at 17. When they could have got a guy like Josh Allen, who I do think Jacksonville got a steal at 7 because they actually drafted the best player available. He is going to be a beast. When you see a guy like a Khalil Mack from a Buffalo, doubles, or one of those players that's off the beaten path, that plays from a college that you're not watching every day, and he sticks out like a sore thumb, man, grab that guy, especially on defense. Because when defensive players stand out, they stand out. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, we know an offensive receiver, like what Justin Ross did and those guys last year for Clemson. I mean, insane. But when a defensive player stands out on the field, like Von Miller did in the Super Bowl to Cam Newton, and all those plays, you got to go with the guy. And Josh Allen, we were watching that game down at Seville, remember, against Florida. Josh Allen was a beast all season long for Kentucky, and they could have got him and then gone after Daniel Jones. So I'm not saying Daniel Jones is going to be bad. What I'm saying is the quality of the pick at 6, I do agree they shouldn't have taken.
You know, it kind of reminds me of a little bit of last year, and Cleveland got criticized because they said, listen, you can probably get Saquon Barkley with the first your first pick, and then Baker Mayfield's still going to be available. So why don't you do that rather than taking Baker Mayfield?
But they knew
and
Kareem Hunt was going to go cha-cha-cha.
But that wasn't as cut and dried. I mean, one of those other teams could have taken Mayfield. Probably not. They probably would have gotten both. But this year, unless you believe the general manager of the New York Giants, who says, hey, there would have been 2 or 3 teams standing there to take Daniel Jones if we didn't. I don't believe that. It's 17. None of the draft people believe that, and it's unverifiable.
Dave Gettleman's press conferences remind me of Ray Liotta in the tequila commercials. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? The ones where 1800, like every one of his.
Try this tequila.
Yeah, listen to this, man. I like him, man. Did you see what he did at the Senior Bowl? And you're going to come at me? This guy's the man. You think you're cool? This guy's cooler. Tequila, 1800. Back at you guys. Like he doesn't care what people think. Dave Gettleman's never cared. Now, I do have to say, I do believe Daniel Jones is going to be pretty good. I do. I've watched him enough, and we know, Jeff, we've been down there on Radio Row multiple times covering the Senior Bowl, where there's quarterbacks that come out of the woodworks, the Carson Wentz, the guys like even Dak Prescott, who moved his way up after winning the Senior Bowl MVP, gets drafted, now he's a starter. He was not even projected top 5 rounds. He moves all the way up, I believe it was, 3rd round to the Dallas Cowboys, or 4th round, gets drafted and wins that job, thanks to Tony Romo's ribs. And now all of a sudden, you see guys moving their way up, and we've seen that for a while. Carson Wentz, nobody knew who he was from North Dakota State. He got his shot to shine at the Senior Bowl, goes on at the time, gets a chance, and was going to be the MVP before he got hurt. And Nick Foles took all his magic, and deservingly so. I mean, when you take over and then you roll through the playoffs and win the Super Bowl, you deserve that. I'm not saying like I just came in for the fill. So they weren't up 9-1 in a baseball game at the bottom of the 9th. The guy gets hurt with 2 outs, and the guy's like, "I'll take care of this." Coming in for the final pitch. Yeah, look at he got it done. Like, no, that wasn't one of these come in for the final salute right there. Nick Foles deserves what he got, but Carson Wentz was the MVP before he got hurt after Week 12. So you look right now at the Senior Bowl, and everybody said Daniel Jones was the man, and he won the MVP. This guy's not a joke, and I'm not saying that he's going to be a bad quarterback, but like we said, to draft him at number 6, I do have to agree, it was not the right choice.
Well, the New York media, whenever Gettleman said, listen, this guy just dominated the Senior Bowl. He was in there for 3 series, and against a defense that was playing a standard zone and kind of loafing around, kind of like lollygagging to the receiver. And he hit some guys and made some nice throws. I mean, didn't play poorly. He played great, but. Is that what we're going to do? Is that the standard for a guy? I mean, the guy completed less than 60% of passes at Duke, 56% or something like that. He was the 7th best passer in the ACC efficiency-wise. Is this guy this good? He looks. If you look at him on film, he looks mechanical. Again, I don't want to throw him under the bus because he's a great quarterback, but really, is he sixth pick of the first round?
Throw him under a Prius in a Planet Hollywood parking garage.
That's right.
That's right. When we come back, we're going to talk a little more about the NFL draft. We'll get to Tyreek Hill, and not much to say here. And also, more on Albert Pujols. He's still rounding third base, but he's third all-time in RBIs. It's all coming back right here on the Sports Drive.
The Sleep Center. For over 20 years now, the Sleep Center has been known as Pensacola's mattress experts. But did you know that the Sleep Center is also Pensacola's adjustable bed, futon, cabinet bed, and beanbag experts? The Sleep Center opened in Pensacola in 1995 with the main goal of being the area's one-stop shop for all your bedding needs. Since then, we have become Pensacola's oldest and largest bedding superstore and have the highest Google rating of any store on the Gulf Coast. So if you want better sleep without all the fuss, come to the Sleep Center and leave the rest to us.
I'm Troy Rafferty, and many of you know about my love for sports and my longtime support for our local high school athletes. One thing these fine young people have taught me over the years is this: whether it's on the ball field, in the classroom, or in a court of law, always work your hardest and achieve the best results possible. And that is the commitment we make to our clients and our community.
Levin Papantonio in Pensacola since 1955.
Now there's more fun for everyone at IP. The beautiful Bayview Cafe is here, open 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can dine anytime and meet up with friends for wine tasting at 850 Wine and Spirits. Plus, if you love sports, IP Sportsbook is where the action is, and now taking wagers. Better up.
IP Casino Resort and Spa. It's fun for everyone.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck, Bentley. That was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5 is all sports all the time. Talk football year-round with local sports legend Coach K. From quarterbacking the Pensacola High Tigers to coaching the Buffalo Bills, Coach K's life has been all about the game, the teams, the players, and the coaches. Talk football with Coach K at noon on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
ESPN Radio is taking over ESPN News. You can now watch your favorite radio shows all in one place. From Golick and Wingo. Oh, yeah. To the Dan Levitard Show with Stugotz.
All right, I'm available every day, thanks.
To the Stephen A. Smith Show.
I just don't understand this guy.
To the Will Kane Show.
It's my job to tell the truth.
From morning to night, the best of ESPN Radio is now available on ESPN News.
Welcome back to the Sports Drive here, 622. I know you guys are seeing this face in the show now. You can check us out, ESPN Pensacola 94.5 on YouTube, but I could have gone without that pop-up right there. How to lift saggy skin with this, like grandma right there in the face, just right, boom, right there, like one of those emerald, bam, like right there in front. You see what I'm saying right there? It's not a big picture or anything, but it's look, it's no, this is not a joke, but it's right there out of nowhere. It just came. I'm trying to read this article right here. Jalen Jones. It looks like it's more clear now of the situation of why he's transferring from Florida, and it looks like a report from the University of Florida Police Department obtained Swamp 247 shows that Jones was accused of sexual assault by two women early morning. April 6. Neither women opted to pursue charges after a rape kit was performed and police interviewed the two women at Shands Hospital. But, it looks like he wants to get out of the situation. From what, just reading that, Jeff, it's hard to know exactly what to make of this. And I'm reading more on this, but it looks like no matter what happens, because he's able to transfer now, we're moving on, it seems like, from this, but it sounds like he's wanting a fresh start and getting out of this situation.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's the university probably understands that there's something to it, and whether it was a severity that the women reported or not is almost irrelevant if something happened that shouldn't have happened. And so I think that Florida's going ahead and cutting ties, and that's probably what they should do. That's what most schools should do. He's in the transfer portal now, and so the question is, where he'll go. And my guess is that he'll go to Auburn and win the Heisman Trophy.
According to police reports, I'm not going to answer that. If I'm not touching it, All right. According to police reports, Jones, though, was accused of sexual assaulting 2 UF women after arriving at his Keys dorm room. Right there, you know where the Keys dorm room is?
Yes.
I remember doing that. Billy Donovan's basketball camp, and his assistant coach ran out with boxers on. He weighed about 300 pounds and screaming, banging with pots and pans on our windows. To get up, and it was 4 o'clock, and we weren't supposed to be out there until 9. Yes, I'm just saying. Billy Donovan was nice. He was not nice. He got us motivated. That's how you look. Al Horford and those guys. But Keys dorm room right there. Roommates Jaden Hill and Chris Steele and 2 women around 2 a.m. Jones and one of the women went into his bedroom. The two began to have consensual, what. And at this point, I say so many things on the show. Why can't I say the word sex? But according to the women's report, like that word I can't say. This is taboo, folks. Say Freeman takes BJ's deep in the loads on Estrada, but I'm sorry, I cannot say the word sex on the show. According to the women's police report, however, Hill and Steele walked in laughing at one point, and the first woman who filed the complaint told Jones to stop having sex with her. Look, if the police did a investigation on it and he's still able to play football, that's all I'm going to take from this. I think from his standpoint of getting a good decision to transfer is the right thing, but it is so hard if you're not there to judge these stories, and you don't want to be the person. I've got a 3-year-old daughter. I've got a wife. You do not want to be the person to judge or assume on what happened when you weren't there on something like this. Clearly, they went back afterwards. People were drinking. It's college. Came back. They walked out laughing out of the room. One of the girlfriends said, hey, what's happening here? And then now 2 police reports were filed. So it is so hard to know if that's the 100% truth, Jeff.
I think that the University of Florida, but the University of Florida's probably vetted this, and they've probably talked to all the people involved. And even though the charges were dropped, I think that the university probably felt comfortable in saying, it's probably time for you to move on.
I agree with that.
This is an uber talented player. I mean, this guy can play. I mean, he had 3 runs for 65 yards in the spring game, and he didn't get to throw the ball much because he's the 3rd or 4th string quarterback. But he's a true freshman. He's 17 years old. He just entered. He should be going to his senior prom right now. and so here's a kid that it's a really unfortunate situation, but. I think that
was this Dan Mullen's guy, by the way? Because Dan Mullen's all about this was Dan Mullen's guy.
Of course, Emory Jones was Dan Mullen. Dan Mullen has a guy every year. I mean, he had Emory Jones, and he had Jalen Jones. He's got Dickerson, the kid from Gainesville, that's going to come in next year. And so he wants to get one guy a year. If you get 2 guys, and they're both really, really good, one of them's leaving. And so you really need to space the quarterbacks out a little bit. It's a juggling act. You've got to be able to create enough separation between the guys, but you also have to make sure that you've got enough guys that are good enough to play football on campus.
And I would dare in part say, kind of piggybacking off of what Jeff said about the university, kind of saying, maybe it's time for you to part ways with the organization, move on somewhere else. I would dare say it was Dan Mullen's decision to do that as well. Even though this was one of his guys, he did draft him to come in. He did draft Jalen. That was one of his prize gets since he's been at Florida. I think Dan Mullen has a very low tolerance for this kind of stuff. So I think Dan Mullen also might have been kind of a, I think it's time for you to go. Let's not, I don't, I understand the situation. I understand what happened. I understand what you're saying. But at the same time, I'm the head coach of this football program. I don't want my program associated with something like that. So I think it's time mutually part ways. You go find some place that's the best fit for you, because right now it's not the University of Florida.
Look, everything's positive right now with Dan Mullen. It's going in the right direction. Now, my dad grew up in a Florida household, and I know that it's been a tough decade. I mean, since Urban Meyer, and I remember sitting there like it was yesterday. We're eating a boat of sushi from a place called Thai Thai 2 in Melbourne, Florida. I'll never forget this. And I remember the report, and my dad was in the middle of a really good bite of sushi, and he looked up, and I was like, Dad, you're not going to want to read this. And it said Urban Meyer is leaving Florida, to pursue. He's got a daughter and volleyball games and things to get to. And I remember sitting there going, oh, crap, why is he doing this? Like he's, I know Tim Tebow's gone, but there's still a future. And it's the SEC. You just won 2 national titles. Dan Mullen was there within that organization. At one point, you had Cam Newton, Tim Tebow on your same roster, all this thing happening. And it took a while. And now it's getting in the right, UF's going in the right direction. They clearly can stand up and say, we are the second best team in the state of Florida. And
behind the
UCF, right? That's not me for judging. Like, all right. On that note, guys, listen. Hey, whoa!
You got bragging rights.
If he can, Tripod can get back out there. He can. I'm hoping. Mackenzie is God bless him, and
he's walking now.
Yeah, he's walking now. Yes.
And so that's great. I hope he gets back. He's a terrific football player and terrific guy.
I know. It was tough to watch that game against USF too. But more on this case. I think at this point he's going to move on. I know we've only got a couple of minutes left before we send out to the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Jeff, really appreciate you joining us here.
Great to join you guys, and look forward to joining you guys again soon.
Even me giving you a disgraceful comment to end the show like that. I think Jordan, same thing. We'll fisticuff afterwards as always.
Right.
Guys, you can check our YouTube stream as Billy Brawls afterwards right here on our
I'm the official, by the way. I'm the referee.
No, I've got some brass knuckles. When we come back, we're going to send it out to the Pensacola Blue Wahoos right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 as they take on the Biloxi Shuckers, best record in the Southern League at 17-9. Go Wahoos.
During these tough economic times, it's easy to lose sight of the importance of saving for the future. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling wants you to know there are simple steps to set aside dollars each month. The most